Welcome, my beautiful friends, to the other video, the third, fifth, I don't know, video that we're on, because what we're doing right now is the second column in the layout, and this is a very unique column in said layout for a number of reasons. The first one is that we have to figure out how we're going to get these rules, these borders right and left between the columns, and I think that the one that has both of the borders would be a good place to do that in. After that, we noticed that the first, let me put my highlighter here. So these are the rules that we have to do, like the borders, right? And this, the first unit, the first article in this column has the gray background, and it bleeds all the way to the edges and stuff like that. So let's figure out how to do, excuse me, this is what you get when your table's from IKEA. Let's go to the, what is this, column 1.jade? Let's go to column 2. Column 2 is going to start like the other ones, like article. And then there's the, what did I do the other ones? I think it's a strong black box? I don't know. It is H4 black. Let me just copy this junk and I'll take out what I don't need. Okay. So this article is cool. It actually has English in the title. That's nice. And then we're going to have a video here, which I have prepared. That's right. I have actually prepared it. The cool thing about Jade is that you can just use, I don't know, you can just use HTML. So I just put an iframe in there. Let me close this sidebar. So I just put an embed iframe in there, right? Let's see what happened. Look at that. Iframe. Woo. Bill Murray, great moments.
You know, you want a prediction about the weather. You're asking the wrong film. I'll give you a winter prediction. It's going to be cold. It's going to be gray. And it's going to last you for the rest of your life.
Bill Murray, ladies and gentlemen, who doesn't love Bill Murray in your layout? The difference here, well, it's pretty similar under that. We've got, get rid of this date stuff. Got the title stuff under that. Looks pretty good, right? I'm just really interested in, so you see this video here, how it's kind of just takes up its own space. Actually, this will become more pronounced as we do something pretty special here. So the first thing I want to do is take this article and say, I want to call it a tint, I want to say it's in a tint box. I don't know, I don't think, I looked around a little bit, I don't think that Foundation has anything like this, but that gray background, I'm going to make a tint box. I want to call it a tint box. I'm going to go into my styles and go into the black box here. I'm going to call it tint box. Now a tint box has a background of, you know, like CCC or maybe EEE, because we're like super gentle. Oh, look at that. It's quite nice. But a tint box also needs padding, right? Because you can't have all the elements in the tint box like hanging out by the edge. So let's see how much padding a normal column has. This is what we want. 0.9375 rems. So in our tint box, where'd you go? Tint box, we're going to say padding is that. That looks good. That looks good. You don't want anything that kind of touching and stuff. The problem that I'm seeing here is a few things. Number one, this is a really long article, and it should only just be like a few sentences. That's kind of better. But that video is hanging off the side now because it's just kind of, you know, not fitting right. Now, Foundation has a really, really awesome utility class called, what is it called? Fit Video, right? Fit Vid, Flex Video. Here we are. Flex Video, and it does something super, super cool. Like, actually, the way it works is just pretty ingenious. It takes this Flex Video and makes it a relative element, and then its direct children, which will be the iframe, and makes it absolutely positioned top and left 0 to the flex video element. And then, to keep it from collapsing in on top of itself, it has a padding top or bottom, whatever, established as a 16:9 ratio, which will keep it kind of like that ratio. No matter how wide you make it, it'll grow in height too. So flex video, we want to put a div around this iframe called flex video. And let's take a look at our, there you go. Now that video is inside of, it's contained within our thing. Oh, and you know something else I didn't mention as well, and I didn't give it enough credit, because in Bootstrap, in the other column that we did in the last video, I did this image, right? And remember that I set the actual image to be 600 pixels wide. And I didn't have to do anything special, and it just kind of shrank in the image to its maximum parent, right? So it's a width equals to, max width is 100% of its parent. Now that's really cool, because I remember having to go into the Bootstrap images and kind of fiddle with it, where here it was so seamless that I didn't even notice it, which I think is, you know, the essence of using one of these frameworks, is that they're so seamless that you don't have to worry about them at all. And that's the goal. And I think that with the images, they achieved it, in as much as I'm trying to teach you guys about it and I didn't notice it. You know what I mean? Like, it was so smooth that I didn't even really even remember to talk about it. But the video one, they do have a specific video for fit video, and when I collapse this layout, you can see how the video will change too. You see how it gets smaller and bigger as the layout changes? Well, isn't that special? All right, now that we've figured out the tint box, I want to look at this column and see how are we going to establish these rules on the right and left of the column. I'm going to go into the index.jade where this column is, and I'm going to give it a special class called ruled. And then I'll go into the styles, and I'll make a class called ruled, and it's going to be, I'll just go to border. 1 pixel solid, and then a border width. Actually, I didn't need to be 1 pixel up here. It needed to be solid, and then the color, which would be like CCC. Yeah, and then the border width is going to be top 0, 1 pixel right, 0 pixel bottom, 1 pixel left. Is that right? Okay. And now we've got these rules on the right and the left. But the thing is that our tint box isn't touching the rules, because the natural padding of that column that I put margins on now, they're squeezing in that tint box, and it's become visible now that I've put rules on it. The fix that we're going to do is we're going to use another class, and because I want this tint box class to kind of remain pure, I want the tint box to just kind of be about the color and then moving away from the edges of the colored box. I'm going to have another one, and I'll call it tint box and full bleed. Meaning I want it to in print, full bleed is a term where your image goes all the way to the edges, and then you just trim off the excess images. So I want that gray to go all the way to the edge, so I call it a full bleed. Now when that happens, remember that we have the padding on the edge right here of the tint box. You know, this one here is 0.9375 rem. Well, let's take that same dimension and say margin, and we'll say 0, and then on the 0 on the top and bottom, and then on the left and right, we want it to be that same dimension of 0.9375 rem, which will, oh, but we don't want it to be the same, we want it to be negative that. So instead of putting margins on the outside, it will flip them in and kind of just pull, kind of like you're stretching a canvas, right? You're stretching that gray out if you're using a negative margin. So it didn't work because I didn't put the bleed on that article yet. So tint box and then full bleed. Save, and there we go. It's stretched out to the edges of that column, and it looks like the tint goes all the way to the rules there. I don't need the HR there because the tint box is giving me that visual separation that the HR did. And that's kind of it. Let's grab another, let's look at our layout. Okay. Let's grab another article from column 1. I think the first article is good enough. Is that just a Christmas tune? Fa la 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 la. Index styles, column 2, column 1.jade. Okay. Make a new article. And it's under, we've got like a little impact here. And the problem with that is, let's put the margin bottom on the tint box too. I mean, no matter where you are, you don't want the tint box to be touching what's below it. So we'll say margin bottom. So what's happening here is that that margin that I want at the bottom is getting overridden because I said tint box full bleed and this has higher specificity. So what I want to do is I want to remove tint box because full bleed is full bleed, whether it's in a tint box or not, I guess. And I'm going to remove that and I'm going to put it above. And so now tint box will override it. There we go. So specificity, super important. If you want more about specificity, check out the specificity video that I did in the CSS Basics series, and you will blow your freaking mind off because it's so super great and important, and a lot of people don't pay as much homage to specificity as they should when coding up CSS. Let's continue. The next one, the next kind of section here is cool because it's got these little dates and it looks like, oh, it's an agenda. So the thing about Bootstrap is that they had this kind of little media unit built in, and I really liked it. Well, it was nice to use here anyway. Okay, all of these things in this can go, and just in the black box, it's going to say agenda. And then there's a rule in it apparently. No, I don't want that rule in it. I want that rule outdented. Okay, now let us figure out what goes in there. All right, inside of this agenda is going to be 4 boxes with dates and titles and smaller dates by them. Basically, tour dates are like event times. I don't want to code up the box, and I don't think that Foundation has anything for this specific style. Bootstrap did. They had that media object, but Foundation doesn't have anything. I looked around. The only kind of like objects they have are like sliders and stuff and thumbnails, which the thumbnails are like definitely supposed to like link off. You know, they have like hover states and stuff like that. They're supposed to be links. And I just want little thumbnail images. So what we're going to do is we're going to create, because we don't have this media object where there's like an image and then next to it some text. We have to create that ourselves. So I'll say row, column, I don't know, like 4. Okay, small 4. And then inside of that, the first, inside that first column, I want an image. Let's do Phil Murray again. We're going to have a 200 by 200 image here. And then the next column is going to be column small 8, right? And then in there, we're just going to have a strong for that title there. And that will be not a strong dot, it's just strong for the title. And then under that is just some lorem for the text. Looks pretty good. That space between the name, the image, and the name is a little too much. So what you want to do is go to row and say collapse. And it will tighten up that space. And then when I go to the image, I'll just put style. I'll just add a few pixels of margin on the side. Margin right. 10 pixels. No? Is that a jade thing? Let me see. Am I doing that wrong? No, that's right. Oh, because max width is 100%. So maybe it's padding that I want. But images can't have padding, so that's stupid. And it worked. Can images have padding? I didn't know that images could have padding. Well, I learned something new today. Okay, cool. So this is the pattern that we're going to have, and we're going to repeat this a few times. Just repeat these rows. Four times. And then I can change the image, I think, by just doing this, giving it different dimensions slightly. Different Bill Murray images. I love that this layout is like full of Bill Murray. Delightful, delightful. And then after the images, the last article in this column is just this little one here, which, let's go back to the column 1 and grab something similar. Let's grab the last one. That was kind of similar. Okay. So you got the headline there, and it's just really a small, like a word or two. Fill D info, and then info, and then this is going to be an anchor. Graph? No, it's ref. And just one word in there. Yeah, that doesn't need to be muted. And get rid of the rest. No, okay, yeah, get rid of the rest of those links and stuff. I don't need that. I do need, no. I don't want the margin on the bottom, so I'm going to change that paragraph to a div. And then strong here for the and then a paragraph that's dot mute, muted. That looks good. It's going to be two of these things though. Let me scroll this up a little bit for you guys. And then we're going to be done with this video after I do this series of links and stuff. Okay, I think that's, yeah, we have 3 articles in this column and a whole lot of Bill Murray, which is fun. And okay, so that's the end of this video. I encourage you to watch the next video, because that one's going to be the column 3 and also the footer, which is the end of the video series. But there's going to be a video after that where I explain what I think about Foundation versus Bootstrap in a knockdown, drag, knuckle fight to the death. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Whoa.